if I could just grab your attention to the signs of distribution that are happening here, then we can start to really get a good idea of what's about to come and what to prepare for, right? This is the volume footprint candles. The normal typical candles tell you the direction that we have went through. But the volume footprint candles tell you the story that happened during that direction. That's why it's very important to look at the volume footprint, even though not many people use it in their analysis. For example, in this area, you can see where all the selling pressure is happening, right? Not that channel, a rectangle. Isn't that very interesting? All the selling is happening between $110,000 and $120,000. But who could be selling all those Bitcoins? Not people who just bought it, obviously. It's people who were very early to the cycle, smart money. Who bought here, who bought here, maybe here, but unlikely. They're starting to sell here. And at those prices, those are their targets. Who could those be? The smart money could be like BlackRock, corporations, very successful large investors, crypto whales, and many others. So before we continue, hi, I'm Mo. I turned a modest crypto portfolio into 6 figures this cycle, not by luck, but by discipline and data. On this channel, I'll help you avoid the traps and show you the real side of the market. So if you enjoy an honest and data-driven crypto talk, hit like and subscribe. Let's get on with the video. All right, this is the volume footprint, right? Let me just a little bit explain for you. So the total is the total of volume that was traded on that month, right? This is the monthly chart. The delta is basically the total buy and the total sell of that month. So if it's a negative delta, that's bad. If it's a positive delta, that's good, depending if you're going long, right? And here what I had is I made each of these price blocks a delta. That's the way I like it, to see the actual difference. Where's the selling happening? Where's the pressure? Where's the buying? And how are the emotions and characteristics of this? What's the story of this trend? For example, if we look right here, you can see that before nice bull runs, what you see is a lot of selling at the bottom from fear, and then a lot of buying at the top from greed. This period didn't have it. We're going to talk about it, but didn't have that basically trend. This was a period of indecision because the reds and greens are all over the place. So it shows you people are not sure. But here you can see selling, buying, and then a huge greed candle, which could be, this is accumulation zone. Those very green candles at the bottom are a very good sign usually. They show accumulation zones. This is the price that people are willing to buy Bitcoin for at large amounts. But this is the price that doesn't only signal fear, but signals a trend of distribution. So if Bitcoin price, for example, follows that path, say we go up and we drop a little bit down, the monthly is hard to, right, to draw on it, does not snap well. But if we do something like this, go to the weekly, yeah, let's draw it on the weekly better. If we do something like that, right, then what do you expect will happen back in this zone? If the same story happens, if you get a lot of red selling time blocks at the same zone, then the buying pressure is unlikely to lead us any higher, and that's when you have to throw in the towel and be like, yeah, we might be lower for longer, at least. Maybe the 4-year cycle is indeed intact, right? But if you see a lot of greed candles, which are characterized with selling at the bottom and buying at the top, this is the fear and greed candles. This is usually good for a bull market, believe it or not. This is what you want to see. Normal retail showing their emotions and diving in when the price goes up and selling when the price goes down. This is what leads us higher if the buying pressure is larger, which is here. You see all the deltas are 590 delta, 423, 1600 delta, minus 822. So we are delta positive in this whole zone, which tells you we might be going higher, right? If you want to look at the weeklies, you also have to see a similar photo, right? Similar picture. But when you see selling at the top, then that might be like, all right, so the greed has just left and maybe the distributors are back on the table, which is exactly that zone. That's when it started, right? You're seeing a lot of greed sometimes happen at the peaks, but it's not, it's dominated by extreme distribution, profit taking. And even at the bottom, there will start to show signs of fear without even any signs of greed or accumulation. There is not much accumulation happening here. It's mostly red, right, in this period. If you go look, for example, at periods like this, despite there being a lot of red, we saw a lot of green as well. And you might have been scared at that time, right? For example, this shows fear, greed, but also distribution at the top. And here's a big fear candle. But then here you would have seen, you know, light at the end of the tunnel when you start to see a little bit more accumulation and a little bit back to the normal fear and greed candles, right? So yeah, this is what I'm basically looking for. I'm gonna be very cautious on how I do this. I'm gonna keep track of the volume footprint candles to see how the story will unfold, and from there we can do good financial decisions. So far, I think all right, it's not here, but I took long trades. If we go to here, I opened up a few long trades, short-term long trades, aiming for that zone. Right? I'm gonna try be selling there. I had my stops around here. I like just 1%. If I'm wrong, then I want to be exiting, and you know, like I'll re-enter whenever. I also took actually a few trades here. I got stopped by 1%, and then I actually entered even a larger trade here. So I'm short-term bullish till we get back into that zone. And if I say more buying, then I'll probably load up my position more. Maybe we're going for a little, you know, something like a sweep the high and then maybe go down in time for the bear market, or maybe it will melt faces. I have no idea. That's why this period is very, very essential and important. But if they're selling there, I believe what we're gonna do is just, you know, maybe sweep that high over there, or maybe even have a lower high, a lower local high, and continue our way down. That's what I see. This zone is very important. I hope greed comes back. I hope buying pressure and accumulation starts again, so we can have that banana zone that we were all waiting for this whole cycle. We did not get that euphoria. It will be sad to end the cycle that way, but we'll see how it goes. If you want more volume footprint updates every week, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button. I'll see you in the next one.